Alright, so the RF01 Pro has been really hyped up by many people, but there's some other people that really don't like this racket. And you're not sure if this racket is worth it or not, you click on the right video. Hi everybody, it's Alex Tennis, and today I took out of Tennis Zone this RF01 Pro to see what are the benefits of playing with this racket and also to see if the hype is real or not about this racket. I've really enjoyed the RF01 and the RF01 Future. Now let's see with the RF01 Pro over here if it's just as good or not. Before going with the specs, just a quick reminder to tell you that the difference between the RF01 Pro, the RF01 and the RF01 Future is only in terms of weight. The mold is the same, the string pattern is the same, so we'll see if this extra weight is gonna give something more to this racket. So you have a 320 gram unstrung weight racket with a leather grip over here. You have a 16 by 19 string pattern and you have a 98 square inch head size. Right off the bat, when I'm looking at this racket, I don't see it like a pro staff, but I see it more like a mix between a blade and a Wilson shift. So without further ado, let's go on the court. If you're looking to buy some tennis products online, then I have a great news for you. You can use the code ALEXTENNIS to have 10% off your next purchase on Tennis Zone. Thanks to them for making this video possible, and let's go back. On the court with the Wilson RF01 Pro, the first thing that I felt was the stability of the racket. Obviously it's control oriented, but I would say that it's more towards the powerful side, so it feels a bit more like a Babolat pure drive, but with a bit more control and a bit more stability. In terms of spin potential, it's not crazy, but it's doing the job. I think that the main part of this racket is the pace that it puts from the baseline. It's really solid, putting a lot of pace. At the net, it's still very solid, but not the most control-oriented racket. Like I said, I feel like sometimes people misunderstood the purpose of this racket. It's made to be more a bit a grinder from the baseline that sometimes come to the net due to the heavy pace of the ball. But it's not a racket like a pro staff that is really good at slice and coming to the net. You know, the main purpose of this racket is playing from the baseline. At the serve, it was really good, a really well-rounded racket in general that is solid, and I just like the leather grip because you feel really connected to this racket, and so that's a great mix and a great overall racket for a modern type of player. So am I someone who really enjoyed the RF01 Pro or that didn't really like it? I have to say that it has to be my favorite version in the RF line. Yes, it's tougher. Yes, it's more control oriented compared to the RF01 just because of the weight that I feel brings a smaller sweet spot. I don't know how to explain it, but I just feel like it's harder to hit in the sweet spot, even though the head size is the same, the string pattern is the same. But definitely you're having a lot more control with this racket, harder to swing around, that's for sure. But I noticed a really good increase in terms of feel, especially due to the leather grip. I feel more connected to the racket. I feel like this racket is a bit more solid. It has the weight that I really wanted with this racket, and you know, sometimes when I felt that the RF01 was a bit too much powerful, I felt like this one was just perfect in terms of control. Because like I said at the beginning, I feel like a lot of people think that the RF01 is a really control-oriented racket that is just like the Pure Strike 97 or the Perset 97 or whatever. But no, it's not. Look at the beam. It's more like a pure drive-ish type of racket, but more control-oriented. So I would recommend this racket to people that love to grind from the baseline and that need that small extra power, but at the same time that loves to have a lot of feel with their racket and loves to have a lot of stability. So now let's go with the rating. In terms of control, I would say that this racket is not the big stands out in terms of control. I mean, the only thing that provides control is the small sweet spot, so you're forced to hit in the middle of the string bed. If you're hitting outside, then it feels a bit more like a Pro Staff 97 because it's hard when you're hitting outside of the sweet spot. So I'll have to go with 8 out of 10. In terms of power, definitely a great racket because, like I've said, the beam is quite wide. The aerodynamic shape is quite good too, so you have a lot of racket head speed, especially when you're going with a big stroke technique. So I'll have to go with 7.5 out of 10. In terms of feel, I just really like this racket. It feels really connected, so I'll have to go with 9 out of 10. I especially loved when I was going to the net. I felt like the volley was crisp, but also at the back I felt like I had enough power to rally, and so the great mix just makes it for me. In terms of spin, not the best one, that's for sure. That was to be expected, so you know, it has to be a 5.5 out of 10, but I mean, we're not really expecting this from this racket. The thing that this racket provides is a really stable racket that offers a bit of power due to the thick beam, but at the same time is definitely more towards oriented towards control, that's for sure. So there you have my overall rating. Thanks to Tennis Zone for letting me borrow this racket. Without them, it would not have been possible. Don't forget to like, to comment, and to subscribe, and see you next time. Bye bye.